Yo, what is up guys, Quantum FPV here, and today we have a very exciting video. So I'm going to be making the switch, if you read the title, to Crossfire. This is an X9 Lite radio, and on the back we have a Crossfire module that I got from my friend. Anyways, I just today got the receiver. So inside of this package is my receiver, and I'm going to be putting it inside of a very special quad. Probably not what you expect. Yeah, this is what I'm putting it in, and I'm very excited to get it going, so let's get started. Here's my very ghetto unboxing setup, ironically on top of the box. Here's the package from Pyrodrone. It actually got here a day early, but they're doing construction on my road, so unfortunately it didn't get here until later in the day. But I think I have enough time to still fly, so that's good. Okay. What else we got in here? A battery strap, of course. Thank you, Pyrodrone. Not that I can use this on the quad that I'm putting Crossfire on, but in here we got a mini Mortal T. That is a very tiny antenna. It's necessary for a toothpick. And inside this, we have the Nano RX. I am very excited. So, inside the bag, what do you get? Another bag. Whoa! That's about the size of an XM Plus. You also get some wires. Very good. And you probably get an antenna, which I'm not going to use. Yeah, look at this ugly thing. Who would want this? I'm actually going to give this to Will FPV because he destroyed his Immortal T. I don't know how that's possible, but if anyone can do it, it's him. Here's what I got. The Nano RX, the mini Mortal T. Let's open these guys up, actually. So inside this one, we got the mini Mortal T. That's a pretty short extension. I don't know how that's gonna go. The wires, I won't open that bag. I'll open this one though. This is the real star of the show here. The Nano RX. Gorgeous. So, now that I've got these guys opened up, let's get them installed. First things first, I'm gonna solder the wires to the Nano RX. So, here we go, we're all heated up, probably a little bit too hot actually. Go ahead and tin up these pads here. Alright. This is a very small receiver. Actually, you probably don't need this. The ground will probably hold it in place better. Probably a little bit too much on the ground wire. There we are. Okay. So, make sure you have some brass. Clean out your soldering iron, that always helps. So the bottom one is ground. FR Sky is a really bad company. If you're buying a new radio, don't buy the X9 Lite. It's really, really bad. To get Crossfire to even work on the X9 Lite, you have to literally change the firmware. Oh, actually no, it gets worse than that. If you want FR Sky receivers to work on the X9 Lite, which is an FR Sky radio, you need to change the firmware. Okay, I guess I'll just do yellow next. I don't really... The wiring color doesn't really matter. All I know is that this is the RX pad. Now to wire that to that pad there. So now this end of the Crossfire receiver is wired. The soldering is good enough. Got my toothpick, and we're gonna crack this puppy open, and we're gonna remove that disgusting FR Sky receiver. Let's get this off now. Goodbye, piece of shit. So you need to wire up it to the TX pad, and the good news is, right here, this TX pad right here. I think that just to give it a little more wire than it probably needs, I'll give it about that much. You bring in the toothpick, the Mamba board in this case, which I have found to be quite reliable, and there you go. So that is how you wire up a Crossfire receiver. So guys, TBS is amazing. I didn't even have to push a bind button. I plugged this thing in, I plugged my radio in, it turned green, and then it was like, you want to update the receiver? I was like, oh, it already found it. It's updating the freaking receiver, just because it can. There it goes. You know, with FR Sky, you gotta plug it into the bottom of this thing, you gotta fiddle with firmware. Nah, it just goes. It just does what it wants. Let me walk you through how this happened. I plugged in my drone, I pushed this button, and that was literally it. I mean, it was already in bind mode because it had never been bound before, and all you need to do is push this button one time, the TX enters bind mode, it finds your receiver, it binds to it, and then if you plug it into TBS Agent, you can update your receiver, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna open up Betaflight now, and I'm gonna show you guys how to configure this in Betaflight. So, what you want to do is connect to your drone, and then you want to plug in if your receiver power does not come from the USB.
Oh, great, the signal's back.
So there you go, my radio's letting me know the signal has returned. And now we're actually going to go to ports, and we're going to keep this as RX1. But you want to go into your configuration tab, and you want to change this from S-Bus to Crossfire. Save and reboot. The drone will reboot. You can reconnect to it. And now, it's not working yet. Let me actually look this up so I know what I'm doing before I tell you what to do. So the wiring diagram that I saw said wire this pad to TX. I thought that wiring diagram was saying that this pad is TX. So I actually wired this guy up backwards. That's no big deal. We're just going to rewire it real quick, and all you want to do is swap the yellow and the white wire, and that will give you Crossfire. Okay guys, we are back. I have gone ahead and reversed the pads. Now I'm going to plug it into Betaflight, and all the configuration steps that I showed you before are the exact same. I was right about that stuff. I do believe I wired it backwards. So, plugging it in now. Let's go ahead and try it out.
Oh, great, the signal's back.
So it's receiver, and yep, there it goes. So, behold, Crossfire. Alright, so now Crossfire is actually working. Oh, you know what? My arm switch isn't working. I haven't configured the aux channels in this model yet. I'll go ahead and do that. And now, let's cut to some DVR and take a look at this baby going long range. Well, that was a little embarrassing. I fail-safed. So, conclusion time. Should you do this? Yeah, you should do it. Here's why. The switch to Crossfire is going to cost you anywhere from 100 to whatever, however many quads you have. I have 2 quads. This thing is such a piece of shit, I don't even bother with it anymore. The receiver is $25, okay? 25 bucks. That's opposed to a 13 RX a month. So you're going to be spending $10 roughly, a little more, on your receivers. If you want the Mini Mortal T, you'll be spending about twice as much on your receivers. Big deal. That's 15 bucks. What do you get for 15 extra dollars? Well, you get less latency. You get way more range. First of all, this quad's rocking a Mini Mortal T. That's not even the full fat Crossfire antenna, and they say you'll get less than half the range on that. So I still managed to get about 900 feet, and I dipped below a hill before I fail-safed. And by the way, I wasn't even halfway cranked up on the power on my TX module. I was at 100 milliwatts. That thing does 250. So yeah, I fail-safed. But that's really if you're focusing on that part, you're really not seeing the big picture here. On FR Sky, I would have fail-safed 400 feet away. If I dip below a tree, done. I would have been done. Not to mention, on the XM Plus, the RSSI is either extremely inaccurate or non-existent. You have to flash it to get RSSI. And as we already know, flashing stuff on FR Sky, it's impossible. It's such a pain in the ass. Should you make the switch? You should make the switch. That's what I say. And you will not regret it. If not the long range you're seeking, if not the reliability, you should at least be seeking the convenience, because compared to everything else that I've tried, FR Sky, Fly Sky, this is not only the best, and definitely the most bang for your buck, even though it's the most expensive. The sheer convenience of this alone is enough to buy it. Even if the range was the same as FR Sky, I would still pay $30 for this. Switch to Crossfire. See you guys later.